So let's go ahead and do the following. We can take a couple of moments to either come to, I'll give you guys the following options, all right? So if you have yoga blocks, you're more than welcome to come to supported fish pose. And if you don't, then you can come right to Supta Baddha Konasana where you're on your back and your feet are together and your knees are apart. Or you can always take the kind of opposite pose where your feet are mats width apart and then your knees just cave in. So whatever feels good, especially on your back right now, by all means go for it. Otherwise, if you do have yoga blocks, I have them, so I'm just going to do it myself. You're going to take your yoga blocks and make, once again, this perpendicular shape, like this, or equal signs. Essentially, whatever will feel nice on the shoulders. All of you have done this with me before. So with the equal signs, then you're going to place your shoulders on the one that's nearest to your bum, like if you're sitting here in front of the blocks. And so your shoulder blades will go on the first block, and then the back of your head will go on the second block. And if you don't have yoga blocks, then just take whatever supine pose would feel nice right now. And then same thing if you're in supported fish pose, right? Your legs can be extended in front of you. Your feet can come together and your knees splayed apart, or your feet can come to mats width apart with the knees caved in. And wherever you are, you can just start to close your eyes if they're open. If you don't feel comfortable closing the eyes right now, you can just find a soft gaze above you in the ceiling. One of your hands can come to your heart, another to your belly, or perhaps it would just feel really nice to allow the arms to drape alongside the torso. Just take a few moments here. Start to deepen and lengthen your breath. Start to allow yourself to find ease in the body. Perhaps you do that by just doing a scan and identifying any areas of tension or extra gripping. A lot of times for me at least, I find that in my brow, and I need to relax my eye muscles, or my fingertips. I have some unnecessary gripping in my fingers, even in my toes. Sometimes I clench my toes. So just take a moment to do a scan of the body, releasing any areas of unnecessary tension. And then perhaps you'll start to notice an effect that has on your mind. And either stay here for a couple more moments, or if you would like to take kind of the opposite position in the legs that you're currently in. So for example, if your knees are together with feet apart, maybe you bring the feet together and bring the knees apart, or you do the opposite. If you're in Supta Baddha Konasana, perhaps you come in constructive rest. And you can keep the arms where they are, or perhaps it would feel good to stretch them above your head and then just allow the elbows to splay out, creating a little diamond with the arms. Inhale and exhale. In your next couple of breaths, if you're on the blocks, you can start to remove the blocks from underneath you. A lot of times there's no not awkward way to do this. So however you can extract them out as easily as possible. And then Just notice the resonance of that like supported back bend on the body. You can take a moment to bring the feet mats width apart, and then just draw the knees side to side, right to left, left to right. Coming to half happy baby. So left foot plants in the mat. You can keep the left knee bent for now. Right knee draws to the chest on the outside of the torso. Catch the outside edge of the right foot with the right hand. And then you can draw the right knee right on the outside of the torso. And either stay here with the left hand on the left hip, or if it's comfortable on the back, you can extend that left leg in front of you. Breathe here, inhale. And exhale, draw the right ankle to the center line. Draw the left knee to come in front of the right ankle, and with the hands in front of the left hamstring or across the right shin, they interlock, and you use them to draw the entire unit closer to the torso. Perhaps the right elbow pushes very, very gently against the inner part of the right thigh to get a very light and friendly hip opener. Inhale. And exhale, release. Plant both feet on the mat with a bend in the knees. Same thing, other side. Left knee draws to the chest and then to the outside of the torso. Left hand catches the outside of left foot for half happy baby. And either keep the right leg where it is or extend the right leg in front of you. Breathe here. And when you're ready, you'll draw the right knee up, cross the left ankle on top of it, and find the interlace of the hands in front of the hamstring or the shin. One hip can feel very different than the other. For me, my right hip is a bit more open than my left. Just respect that the different parts of your sides and different places in your body will feel very different. And start to release. Feet plant on the mat. Knees can take a moment to go right to left, left to right again. And then just simply allow them to cascade to the right so that you can turn onto your belly. We're going to just open up the shoulders a little bit here. My right arm is going to extend out to the right, and then my right hand is going to come just above shoulder level. My left fingers will tent, and then I roll on to the right shoulder. So my feet can stack on top of one another, or my left knee can bend, and my left foot can be placed on, like, towards the back of the right leg. Hi, baby. Inhale. And exhale back through center. Same thing, other side. So my left arm extends out, not just at shoulder level, but my hand is just above the shoulder level. My right fingers tent, and then I roll onto the left shoulder. And I can take whatever shape in the legs that I did on the first side in a second. Inhale. And exhale back through center. And just take a moment to bring one forearm to the mat and then the other for Sphinx pose. Broaden the chest, inhale. And exhale, either stay here or the chin can dip towards the chest. just slightly, just to lengthen out the back of the neck. And then hands clasp in front of you. And then draw the knees up a little bit, the hips up, tuck the toes, and let's find a brief dolphin. So in my dolphin, I plug in my shoulders. My elbows are shoulders width apart. There's a tendency to find like a huge width in between the elbows. And so my elbows are shoulders width apart. Just ensure that they're not splayed out too much. And I can have a bend in the knee here, or I can lengthen out the legs, just depending on how my hamstrings are feeling up this early in practice. Inhale. Exhale, knees dip down, hands on the shoulders, flat spine, tabletop. Slight tuck of the tailbone to start, and then the inhale, broaden the chest, cow. Exhale, cat. Look towards the navel. And go through a few rounds on your own, undulating the spine as slowly as you would like. Just wake and mobilize the spine. Find a flat back, left hand underneath the nose. Inhale, right arm up. We're going to pulse thread the needle. So on the exhale, you thread the needle, right arm under, right shoulder touches down. But on the inhale, we sweep the right arm back up, look towards the right. And again, exhale, thread the needle, shoulder to the mat. 2 more times. Inhale, right arm up. And exhale, thread. Inhale, right arm up. And this time as you thread, you're going to stay. So my left hand can tent the fingers. I can either stay here, I can extend the arm out a little bit, or I can find my right hip crease with my left hand for a half bind. So continuing to open up the shoulders a little bit. Inhale. And exhale, come back through center. Take a couple of cat-cows on your own. And when you're ready, you'll find a flat back, right hand underneath the nose. Inhale, left arm up. And exhale, thread it under. Pulsing once again. Inhale, left arm up. And exhale. Inhale it up. 2 more times. Exhale, thread. Inhale. And this time, we're going to stay on that exhale and thread in the thread the needle pose. So the right fingers can tent. You can extend the right arm in front of you, or the right hand can find the left hip crease. And then start to unwind. You can go through a couple more cat-cows. And when you're ready, the toes will tuck for downward facing dog. And in down dog, you can take a moment to pedal out the legs. Actively press the mat away from you, not just with your wrists and your palms, but with every single finger mount. And then find stillness in the legs if you haven't already. Inhale, right leg high to the sky. And exhale, draw the right knee slowly to the chest, and then right foot comes next to right thumb, left knee touches down. Inhale, sweep the arms up. On the exhale, we come to baby back bend. Elbows splay out. Inhale, extend the arms up, look up. Exhale, baby back bend. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands frame the right foot, tuck the left toes. Inhale, come to your flat back at the top of the mat. And exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana, sit back in your seat. Exhale, hand through heart center, extend the legs, Tadasana. Inhale, arms sweep up, fingers touch, look up. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold everything down. 10 the fingers, right foot to the back of the mat, right knee touches down. Inhale, arms sweep up. And on the exhale, we twist open to the left with the arms spread open. Left hand goes down, forward, and up. Inhale. Exhale, hands frame the left foot, tuck the right toes. Left foot steps back into plank pose. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, knees touch down. And then the chin and the chest follow it for knees, chest, chin. Arch the spine. Inhale, pull forward. Exhale, melt the heart down. Hands under shoulders, press yourself back through tabletop. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg sweeps up. Exhale, left knee to the chest. Left foot steps next to the thumb. Arms sweep up in the inhale. Exhale, baby back bend. Pulse it one more time. Sweep the arms up, inhale. Release the breath, elbows come to the side, broad of the chest. Inhale it up. And exhale, hands frame left foot, tuck the right toes. Inhale, flat back at the top of the mat. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Ground the feet to bring you up, hands through heart center, Tadasana. Arms sweep up, Urdhva Hastasana. Melt everything down, Uttanasana. Fingers tent, left foot to the back of the mat, left knee touches down, arms sweep up on the inhale. Exhale, open to the right, spread the arms. Right hand down, forward and up, inhale. And exhale, hands frame the right foot, tuck the left toes, right foot next to left, and plank pose at the back of the mat. Shift forward, inhale. Touch the knees down, chin and chest follow. Exhale. Inhale, pull it forward, cobra pose. And exhale, melt the heart down. Stay here for a moment. The fingers tent out. And in front of you a little bit. Sorry, that is so distracting. Inhale, broaden the chest in your cobra pose. And exhale, right shoulder to the mat. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, left shoulder to the mat. 2 more times, once each side. Inhale, center. Exhale, right shoulder to the mat. Look to the left fingers. Exhale, center. Inhale, center. Exhale, left shoulder to the mat. Look to the right. Final inhale, center. Exhale, melt it down, hands under shoulders. Press yourself back to downward facing dog. Breathe here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale, plug in the shoulders, lengthen the spine. Exhale 4. Inhale, feet together and bend at the knees. Prepare. Exhale, step, or float to the top of the mat. Fold. Inhale, hands on the shins or the earth, flat back. And Uttanasana, fold it on down. Coming through a chair pose, Utkatasana, inhale. And exhale, hands through heart center, Tadasana. Inhale, arms sweep up. Stay here. The right hand grabs the left wrist to lengthen up the spine. Inhale. And exhale, side bend to the right. Really plug in the four corners of your feet. Inhale, stay. And stay for the exhale. Bring it through center. Inhale, left hand grabs right wrist. And exhale, side bend to the left. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, center. And exhale, fold everything out. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, hands to the earth, step, step, or float to your halfway push-up. Inhale brings you up to forward facing dog. And exhale moves the tail back, downward facing dog. Either stay in down dog. Once again, we're having a very chill class today, so nothing crazy. But an option for you is to bring your feet a little bit wider apart, bring a bend in the knees, plug in the left hand to the mat, the left fingertips into the mat, and then the right hand releases from the mat, comes across the midline, and searches for either the outside of the left ankle or the shin to just bring you into a little bit of a twist. You're looking underneath your left armpit at the ceiling. Inhale. And exhale, release the right hand. Ground the right hand into the mat. And then same thing, other side, left hand releases. Find yourself in a little bit of a downward dog twist towards the right. And release. Feet together and bend at the knees. And exhale, step, step, or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. And exhale, hands through heart center, Tadasana. Once again, inhale, chair pose. Stay in your chair, but the hands will come behind you, fingers interlace. You can keep a bend in the elbows, or if it's comfortable to straighten the arms, you can do that. Inhale. And exhale, straighten the legs and fold, maintaining the bind. Breathe here. Inhale. And exhale. Either keep the hands bound or remain in the forward fold, but release the bind and come to ragdoll pose. Opposite hands to opposite elbows, head is super heavy. Either stay here, or if it would feel nice to bring the hands behind the neck to lengthen out the back of the neck, that's an option as well. Inhale. And exhale, hands release, step, step, or float, halfway push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Knees tap down just for a moment. And then one forearm comes to the mat, the other forearm comes to the mat. And then legs extend behind you for forearm plank. Engage the abdominals. We won't stay here too long. For those of you doing calisthenics, I know we do a lot of planking. But let's go ahead and bring the right hand towards the center of the mat, not too much, but towards center a little bit, so that we can release the left arm up. And you can modify it by placing the right knee down for a little bit of support. The left foot can be in front of the right, the feet can be stacked, or you can even find tree pose. Come back to center. And then same thing, other side. Left hand comes in just a little bit. And then find whatever variation with the legs that you did so on the first side. Inhale. And exhale through center. Maintain this forearm plank, but the hands come together. Then the hips come up And we walk our feet a little bit in and then out with a bend in the knees for dolphin pose again. Inhale. And exhale. Walk the feet back for a plank. And then check it out. We ground those finger mounds into the mat. Extend the arms. And then walk the feet in, and we're back in down dog. Breathe here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, right leg high to the sky. And exhale, knee to chest, right foot steps next to the right thumb. Pivot that left foot down, warrior one. Hips are squared, arms extending up. And then maintain the shape in the legs, but allow the hands to come through heart center, and then find that clasp again in the back. Once again, maintain a bend in the elbows, or perhaps we extend the arms. On your next breath in, perhaps you broaden the chest towards the ceiling, and then hinge the hips, fold, humble warrior. To modify, definitely feel welcome to rest the right shoulder on the right knee, or the right shoulder can pass the right knee altogether, and your legs are doing all of the work here. Inhale. And exhale, release the hands to frame the right foot. Come forward into your standing split. Left foot comes off the mat. Activate that left glute, and you're folding over the standing leg. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale, left foot to the mat. And then the right foot can step back right into down dog, or you can always move through vinyasa if you would like. But always feel free, especially since we're doing a little bit more of a slower class, to skip the push-up. Inhale, left leg high to the sky. And exhale, left foot next to left thumb. Warrior one, pivot that right heel down. Arms sweep up. And you take a couple of moments to get settled in the legs in your warrior one. Maintain the shape of the legs, hands trace the midline through prayer, and then come behind your back to clasp, perhaps a non-habitual way, opposite thumb on top. Maintain the bend of the elbows or extend the arms. Inhale, perhaps you broaden the chest up towards the ceiling. Exhale, fold, humble warrior. Head is nice and heavy here. Inhale. And exhale, hands frame the left foot. Right foot releases, and we fold over that left leg. Activate the right glutes, so the right leg is just kind of floating here passively. But the glutes are turned on. Inhale. Exhale, right foot to the mat, and either step into down dog, or move through vinyasa if you would like. Breathe here, inhale. And exhale. Feet together, bend at the knees. And exhale, feet to hands at the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Maintain the shape of Utkatasana, but hands trace the midline. And then right elbow comes to left, outside of left knee to twist towards the left. Breathe here. Notice if the left knee is coming significantly in front of the right. Try to level off the knees a little bit. And let's just make sure that the knees aren't kind of caving in on each other. There should be just a sliver of space in between the knees. Prepare. Inhale through center chair pose. And exhale, hands to center. Left elbow to the outside of right knee, twist towards the right. Breathe here. Next breath in brings you to Utkatasana chair pose. And breath out, hands through heart center, extend the legs. Let's come to tree pose. So in your tree pose, the right foot grounds into the mat, left knee up, and then to the left. And the hands can find heart center here, or they can extend up. And then just breathe here. Plug in that right hip so we're not sassing it out too much, but it's really engaged. Nice, guys, and release. Same thing other side. Let's go ahead and ground the left foot into the mat. Right knee comes up to center, to the right. Plugging in that standing hip. And then do whatever variation with the arms that you did on the first side. Engage the abdominals even here to find a little bit more stability and support for the back. Nice. And go ahead and release. Lovely. You're at the top of your mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, hands to the earth. You can step to down dog or move through vinyasa. We all meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg up, high to the sky. And exhale, right foot to right thumb, warrior one, pivot the left heel down, arms sweep up. Breathe here, inhale. And exhale, hands trace the center, straighten the right leg, and then hands come to your hips. Now, if you're new to pyramid pose, like you don't know what that is, then just ignore what I'm gonna say with the hands, okay? So I'll show you really quickly. So if you're completely new to this pose, in a second you're going to have your hands on your hips, you're gonna hinge forward. If you have any form of props, for example, like a block that you can use under your hands, that can be very nice. Or your fingertips can be grazing the mat, whatever is comfortable. You'll take a moment to lengthen out your spine and then fold over, okay? So we're gonna either go with that, or if you wanna focus on opening up the shoulders while doing that, then your hands are gonna come behind you. But instead of clasping the fingers and extending the arms, we're gonna work on reverse prayer. So that looks like this, okay? So it's the same shape of the prayer hands, except it's behind you. If that's not accessible for your shoulders, then you can always give yourself a fist bump. So it's a little bit less kind of precarious there. So decide what you want to do. Our hips are all squared by this point. We're looking forward, and then whatever position you're in, start to hinge those hips forward. Let's focus first on lengthening the spine. So we're not rushing to curve the spine over. Focus on length, and then once I've found that length, ensuring that I'm plugging that right hip back and drawing the left hip forward slightly, then I start to fold. Breathe here, inhale. Exhale, power on the legs to come up to standing. Inhale, arms sweep up. And then exhale, trace the midline, hands to heart center, preparing for warrior three. Find a micro bend in that right knee, hinge the hips forward again, but this time that left foot is gonna find lift off. Try to level off your hips here. And listen to my voice, we're gonna find tree pose again. So once you're grounded, your torso is going to start to upright itself, bringing the left knee with it. Perhaps the left foot will touch the ground on the way, perhaps it won't. And then once you found stability, then you can use your left hand to place the left foot on the inside of the right thigh. And we're in tree pose once again. So tree pose, you can do what you did with the arms the first time around, or if you want to up level, if your arms were extended up before, perhaps you have that, but then you also start to bring the gaze up to the ceiling as well. Perhaps up to the fingertips. Inhale. And exhale, hands come back through heart center. Left knee draws into the center. Warrior 3 draws that left leg back. And then hands come to the earth. Take a moment in your standing split. Then once again, move through vinyasa or step to downward facing dog. If you're moving through vinyasa, right foot to the back of the mat meets the left. Halfway push-up, up dog, down dog. Inhale, left leg high to the sky. And exhale, knee to the chest, then the foot steps next to the left thumb. Pivot that right heel down. Warrior 1, inhale. And exhale, hands trace the midline, straighten the left leg. Oh, and the Irishman is on. Yay. Let's see. And then go ahead and do whatever you did with the arms on this side. So once again, the hands can be the hip, or you'll find the prayer hands or the fist bump variation. Hips start to hinge, chest draws forward. Once again, prioritize lengthening the spine, lengthen the back of the neck, and then you can allow the spine to curve, folding forward. Inhale. And exhale, power on the legs, arms sweep up. And then hands trace the midline. Prepare for warrior 3. Bring a small bend in that left knee. Hinge forward. Really take a moment to level off the hips. So you're not just launching yourself forward because you know that we're going to come to tree pose. And then once you've found stability, draw the torso up, right knee with it. Totally fine if the right foot touches down on the leg. And then tree pose. Right foot to the inner part of the left thigh. And once again, let's all work on up leveling wherever we're at on this side. So if the hands were at prayer, now you're extending the arms. If you extended the arms the first time around, now you're extending the arms and looking up, up, up towards the ceiling, perhaps towards your own hands. Breathe in. Breathe out. The arms are lifted, hands trace the midline. Right knee draws to center, hinge the hips, extend the right leg back. Warrior 3. And once you're at warrior 3, then you slowly release the hands down to fold over the standing leg. Once you've had your fix here, hands ground to the mat, step into down dog, or once again, move through halfway push-up, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now you have two options here. You can either come to child's pose or you can come to dolphin again. So in child's pose, knees will touch down, and then you'll fold forward with your thighs supporting the torso and the arms extending back for the embryo variation. Unless you're like really keen on extending the arms forward. Otherwise, if you're in dolphin pose, no pressure, but if you feel super energetic, then the hands can clasp, forearms to the mat, elbows or shoulders width apart, and you come to dolphin. Plugging in the shoulders, let the head be nice and heavy. I myself am going to take the embryo pose. So just whatever would satisfy you for the next 7 breaths or so. And when you're ready, if you're an embryo, you'll draw the torso up. We'll all meet back in downward facing dog. You can make a decision to have, if you're in dolphin, how you want to get from dolphin to down dog. And prepare. Last little part of the standing sequence that I'm making up as we go. Inhale, right leg high to the sky. Exhale, right knee to chest, right foot next to right thumb, warrior 1 again. Inhale, the arms sweep up. And exhale, hands trace the midline. Extend that right leg. So that now we're preparing for pyramid again, but we're going to add on that revolved triangle variation. So if you know that you're into using the block, you can place the block on the inside of the right foot now. So wherever you are, we're not going to do variations with the shoulders right now, just so that we can focus on getting to revolved triangle. So the hands can hinge via the hips so that they can hinge down. The hips can hinge down. Lord, what am I even saying? And then hands release to once again take a moment in your pyramid. And this is mainly to do kind of like a check-in. Are my hips fairly level here, or am I drawing my left hip back excessively? Once again, I'm drawing that right hip back and the left hip forward. After doing that check-in, my left hand can release to the block or to the mat, and then my right hand comes to my right hip, and I start to open up the chest towards the right. You can always maintain a bend in the knees if it's a little bit too much for your hamstring and IT band and all that. Then perhaps right hand stays to hip, or I extend that right arm up. Breathe here, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale to center, ditch the block if you have it. Inhale, arms sweep up. And exhale, hands trace the midline. Once again, we're going to prepare for go through warrior 3 so that we draw the left knee up. But this time, instead of coming to tree pose, you're going to just leave the knee lifted in front of you. So let's all prepare. Hinge the hips forward a little bit, bend to that right knee, come through warrior 3. And then as the torso draws up, the left knee comes with it. And we're going to mimic a similar type of shape, except standing. So right hand comes to the outside of the left knee. And then perhaps I extend that left arm back. Or perhaps, I'm a little unstable right now, but if you're more stable than I am, the right hand can catch the outside of the left foot. And then I come to the pose. Inhale. And exhale, start to slowly release. Perhaps the left foot touches down, perhaps it doesn't. As once again, you come through warrior 3. Woo. Didn't quite make it. Then hands to the mat. And then step to down dog or move through vinyasa. Last side. Inhale, left leg up. And exhale, knee to chest, warrior 1. Right foot pivots down. Arms sweep up here. Inhale. Exhale, hands trace to center. And then extend that left leg, taking out the bend in the knee, unless this is just way too much on your hamstring. Hands release to the hips and start to hinge. Once again, you can place that block on the inside of the left foot. Take a moment here to get settled in your pyramid. That same type of little check-in. Draw that right hip forward, the left hip back. Lengthen out the spine, and then the right hand can place on the block or the mat. Left hand to the hip, and then start to open up to the left here. Perhaps the left arm extends up. And I didn't say this on the first side, but I should have. The gaze can be down or it can be forward. It can be a lot on the neck to rotate it up, so definitely don't feel the need to do that. And then start to release. Arms sweep up, inhale. Exhale, hands through heart center. Coming through our second to last warrior three. Hinge forward. Supported by micro bend in that left knee. And then torso rises. Bring that right knee with you. And then twist to the right. Either keep that right hand, the left hand on the outside of the right knee, or once again, you can catch the outside of the right foot with the left hand. Perhaps that right arm extends back. You don't need to straighten out the right leg. You can always have the pose with the bend in the knee if that's just more accessible for the right leg. And then start to unwind when you're ready. I'm going to challenge myself to not drop down prematurely, but we'll see. Through warrior three. And then I release my hands down. Right foot steps down, left foot steps back, either in down dog or plank vinyasa. And let's prepare for pigeon. Inhale that right leg high to the sky. And exhale, right knee to the right wrist. Set up for half pigeon pose. So take a moment before you fold forward to tuck the left toes so that you can just lengthen yourself back a little bit. And use whatever props you need to support the forearms to allow you to fold down comfortably. You can always maintain, lengthen the torso here, so you don't need to fold over, but the hands can be planted and you can just hang out here, or you can fold. And just breathe here, inhale. And exhale. Either stay here, or if you would like to come to the quad stretch, then the hands will plant on the mat and bring yourself up. The right hand can come towards the center a little bit, and then that left ankle will rise. You'll release the right hand from the mat to clasp it. Either stay here, perhaps very lightly kicking back, or perhaps you draw that left heel into the hip a little bit more, maybe turning over the fingers. Great, and release. We'll do the other side, so however you want to get there, you can tuck the left toes and bring yourself back into down dog. If you're down dog, left leg sweeps up. And as you breathe out, the knee comes to the left wrist. Once again, take a moment to tuck the toes, lengthen back, before using a prop if necessary, or the forearms can be directed at the mat as you fold. Either stay there, or if you want to go for the quad stretch, you'll prop yourself up with your hands, then the left hand will come towards the center. The right ankle will draw in, and you'll search for it with your right hand, either kicking back subtly, or once again drawing the right heel towards the hip. Perhaps the fingers rotate over and the elbow floats up towards the ceiling. And release. Hands plant to the mat and bring yourself to down dog. Just as a means to roll it forward. To find plank, hinge the elbows, through chaturanga, melt the heart all the way down. So for our back bend, we're going to come to Shalabhasana and then bow. So these are kind of the options, right? You can, we'll all do Shalabhasana first, and then if you want to do that again, then you can do that, or you can take bow, okay? So there'll be a couple of options also within bow, because we'll be there, I'll count 6 breaths, so you can spend half of it just doing one side and half of it doing the other, or you could be in the full pose for the entire time, okay? So let's all first come to Shalabhasana. Our shoulders should be more and more open through the scope of this practice. So I'm going to cue you right away to interlace the hands behind you and perhaps extend the arms. But if this is still just too much on the shoulders, then just draw the hands back, and the hands don't need to clasp. Okay? So arms are drawn back. Your inhale, the chest will broaden, and then perhaps the feet and the knees will float up. And you're not just craning your neck up. So you're looking down and forward so that you can find a little bit of length in the back of the neck. And breathe here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And release. Right cheek touches down. Let's take a moment to settle there. The hips can take a little bit of a sway side to side. And then let's prepare for the next part. So if you're going to take half bow, then you're going to come from Sphinx, right? So the forearms are to the mat, right hand comes in a little bit, and then kind of like we were just doing, the left heel draws up, and left hand looks for it, okay? And then you can just kind of actively kick back here for 3 breaths. And then do the other side, okay? Or if you just want to come to bow, then you'll draw the heels in, and then both hands will clasp, preferably on the inside of the ankle, because that's going to really open the shoulders the most, and then you'll kick back, okay? So make a decision of what you want to do, prepare, and begin. Inhale, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Inhale, switch sides. And if you're in bow, you can always lower at any point. Inhale, 4. Inhale, 5. Inhale. All of us release. And left cheek touches down, look to the right. And then just roll onto your back here. Feet plant down, mats width apart. Then just take a moment to draw the knees left to right, right to left. And knees draw to the chest. And outside the torso, hands clasp to the outside edges of the foot for full happy baby. And then either stay in happy baby, or for a little bit of asymmetry here, we can extend one leg and the other. Release feet to the mat, coming to supine twist before we bow out to Shavasana. The hips come to the left, just a little bit, so that the knees can cascade to the right. You can open up the arms if you would like. And the right foot can either stay where it is, or it can come on top of the left knee, just for a little bit more traction. And then the head can remain, or the neck can remain neutral, or you can look to your left thumb. And start to come back through center. Hips shift to the right, knees cascade to the left. Then same thing, other side. If you took that variation with the left foot on the outside of the right knee, just make sure to do that on this side. You can take whatever variation of the neck, the gaze that you did on the second side that you did in the first. Breathe in. And breathe out. Start to slowly release. The legs extend in front of you, or you can always come to a seated meditation, which I'm going to do momentarily. Go for Shavasana. Legs can extend in front of you. The arms can extend by your side. Together we inhale from the low belly. Draw the breath through the mid-belly, through the chest, hold at the top. And exhale everything out. Shavasana. start to bring awareness into the breath. Bring tiny movements in the fingers and the toes. Small circles in the ankles and the wrists. And perhaps in the next inhale, you sweep your arms over and behind you to lengthen out the entire body. And exhale. 1 foot at a time, steps to the mat, with a bend in your knees. Inhale, shift the hips to the left. And exhale, knees cascade to the right, roll onto the right shoulder. Left arm drapes over the torso, left hand grounds into the mat to press you up into a comfortable seat. Your hands can be on your knees, over your heart, or in prayer with the thumbs in between the two eyes. We'll take 2 breaths together. Inhale from the low belly, fill up the lungs completely as you draw the breath in, hold at the top. And exhale. 1 more time. Inhale, fill up the lungs completely. Hold at the top. Relax the face. Exhale, hinge the hips, fold forward. Namaste. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time and your company. Fun stuff.
Ellie.